Hello and welcome to MGP528. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello.
We're finally back after all of our shenanigans. The second person you heard speak there was Sheepdog. I know you won't be familiar with his work because he's back from his 4 months in prison or wherever he's been. Yeah, I mean, have you done a podcast this year? Do we need to reintroduce you?
I don't know.
So people know which one you are.
Well, you remind me, I'm in Norway next week, so I'm not going to be here.
Brilliant.
What?
Why did you have to come back this week then? Why couldn't you just continue not being on?
I'm pretty sure I said I was.
You've tempted people with a little bit of sheepy, but then you're off again.
I do think I announced I was just going to take the month of October and a bit of November off. But
why are you here?
I don't know. I forgot that I'd said that, and I'm here. So I mean, I could chip off now.
I mean, yeah, off you pop. We'll carry on with it. It'll be. Let's face it. It'll be a quicker show without you here. So I can get back to. I can get back to my shenanigans that I was doing pre-podcast.
I've played two brand new games. I mean, I think that if we'd done a podcast last week, they would have been new last week. But I have played two games that we haven't talked about on the podcast yet.
That seems very unlikely. We were all at London Comic. Well, not all of us. Anna didn't come, but we all went to London Comic Con last week, where we discovered there were more new upcoming games there than there were at EGX. So, in the continuation of me sticking the boot into EGX, they had Final Fantasy something or other. That was there. That wasn't at EGX. They had RoboCop. That was there. That wasn't at EGX. They had a Baby Shark game.
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8, yeah, which was an Insomnia exclusive a few months ago, but is now apparently at Comic Con. Is there anything else there that wasn't at EGX? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Did you tell Anna offline what they said when you said, why weren't you at EGX? What was the answer, Kev?
Mm.
That's literally the answer.
That was. I asked. I knew somebody who was on the Final Fantasy stand and said to him, "Why are you here?" And you weren't at the gaming one, the EGX, a couple of weeks ago. And his response was just, "I don't know." I mean, to be fair, he was just working on the stand. He wasn't Freddy Final Fantasy. You know, he's not making all the decisions over there at whatever company makes that game. But yeah, the guy working on the stand didn't know why they didn't do the actual gaming event. I can only assume places were priced out of it. But in addition to there being lots of games there was also some of the old Play Expo style stands there that again you don't get at EGX. There was console exchange people, there was loads of retro gaming stuff. There was a lot of cool gaming stuff there, probably more so than there usually is. And I'm very confused. Because it's the same company. If they were competing with each other, I would get. And this isn't going to be another hour-long EGX bashing, but they're the same company.
Yeah, they've got the contacts. They've not upset anyone.
Yeah.
They've not, got an argument. There's no beef. It was odd. It was just odd. I feel like it can't even be the cost, surely, because the hall they were in was the hall that we were told was the expensive hall. There's two halls at Comic Con. There's the hall you spend money in if you're a big company and you're trying to show the world that you're a big deal. And then there's the kind of boot sale hall, which is where all the cool stuff that is like...
Yeah, and the expensive hall is 3 times the price of the non-expensive hall. So it's there were a couple of people who couldn't... I was going to say we spoke to. Everyone knows that's a lie. We overheard talking to somebody who was actually asking questions. And they did mention that they tried to get into the car boot sale hall, couldn't, and had to pay 3 times the price to get into the fancy one with the fancy people. But I mean, they still paid it, so that shows that it's worth coming to these events because they were willing to. We'll pay 3 times the price then. Why not? But yeah, it's confusing. Interestingly, and this I'm deliberately starting a rumor here because interestingly, bearing in mind again they're the same company. Comic-Con have already announced next year's dates. EGX haven't.
Well, EGX is further out.
Comic-Con's
May.
I wonder.
October time.
I've never been to an EGX before that doesn't have a "See you next year" with the dates on poster.
That is usually true.
I wonder if
to be
they're
fair,
just going to smash them together next year and it'll just be one event.
Have you checked their social medias to see if that is actually they've announced anything? Because I haven't seen that.
No, I can't be bothered.
But I
I'm
haven't
just
been
going to
paying
make up a
attention.
rumour.
I mean, let's face it, Kev.
Let me tell my narrative.
You like to be rumour mongering. Okay.
They might have just forgotten. I mean, they forgot a lot of stuff. Bless them. My
I
friend
mean, it
is
does
still...
say on their website, we're looking forward to welcoming you back to London for a 4-day celebration of all things gaming for 2024. But the dates are TBD, so they don't
Right.
have dates yet. So
Well, they always
that's interesting. Yeah, it says on there dates for EGX 2024 are not confirmed.
Yeah, so
But it is apparently going to be at the XL, and tickets will go on sale at some point because Comic Con tickets are on sale this weekend. EGX ones aren't because they don't even have a date yet. I think it'll all be mushed together. I think it'll be one big event. I think they're going to take my feedback on board. I think I'm going to be made creative director of the convention company because I'm the ideas man. And I think it's all going to be one big event, and I'm going to headline it.
You're going to make these...
Some of those predictions are more likely to happen than others. Yeah, I think it probably will, yeah. But I'm looking forward to all that. Kev's Mega Convention, it's going to be called.
okay.
Catchy.
Yeah, and it'll have more games there than EGX. Guaranteed. I'm willing to guarantee that. So I'll just bring my Steam Deck, and there you go, more games. Kev wins. Ah! So has anyone done anything interesting other than go to Comic Con in the last couple of weeks? We ate an inordinate amount of cheese between the three of us.
We did. I mean, I went to Menorca.
Is that more interesting than the cheese?
Probably not. It was all right. I chilled out. I played too much Football Manager. I was reviewing what I'd been up to on my phone. Like, you know, it gives you an alert sometimes. This is what you've been doing on your phone. And it just said that I'd played a stupid amount of the FM23 mobile version because I was...
Yeah, I'm going to suggest your idea of a stupid amount of Football Manager is very different to my idea of a stupid amount of Football Manager. I've still played FM24 for more hours than the game has been out for.
How does that work?
More than 2 weeks after, because I got it early, didn't I?
Oh, yeah,
I've not turned it off since I've had it. So I've still got more hours than there have been hours since they released it. That's when you push it. I'm playing it right now. That's when you're playing too much Football Manager.
How long do you reckon you can maintain being ahead of them on the hours?
I think I'm going to lose it in the next... Because I've now done my 1,000-year in a future save, I'm not leaving it on overnight anymore. It might actually be now that I've dropped back behind. But certainly last time I checked a couple of days ago, I was still ahead. But I have turned the computer off the last couple of nights, which is the first time since I've had this PC I've turned it off. I was delighted to see it just came back on again, which was nice. My previous one didn't do that. It would sometimes take 4 or 5 button presses to come back on. So I haven't melted anything in this one yet, which is always good to see.
Yet.
Yeah. I have played 241 hours of FM24. I've just checked on Steam now. So I don't know how long it's... We're recording this 15 days after the beta came out. So yeah, I'm below now, aren't I? 15 times 24. Yeah, there's been 360 hours. I lost my title days ago. Comic Con's probably done that for me, actually, thinking about it. Oh, that's a disaster. Never mind. Never mind.
That's a quick recovery. Very quick recovery.
So, anyone done anything? So we've had Mallorca. We've had...
Cheese.
How was Skeggy, Pab?
Cheese.
I was what?
Yep.
How was Skeggy? You went to Skeggy, didn't you?
Yeah, sort of. It was quiet.
Oh, he's reeling. We are.
He doesn't want to disclose that. Oh, I don't know if I want to tell people where I was in the past. They might come and find me.
But also, I was still probably half an hour away from actual Skegness, so it wasn't like I was in Skegness. So.
We're going to need
visit
your
the
exact
seals?
GPS location.
I mean, I should have probably said this to you before you went there, Pab, but did you go to the amazing place about 5 miles from where you were staying, where you could go and see seals be born, and they were literally in front of you, and it was probably one of the coolest places I've been in years, because I should have probably told you to go there, and you were really, really close to it.
No.
You didn't go there, no?
The odds of him going on the day seals were being born.
Well, this is the prime seal time. They roll up in October-ish, I think, and they give birth all the way through till January. This time last year, I was standing there watching baby seals hop about, and someone went, "There's one being born down there," and a load of people flocked down and watched the seals.
What is it with you people going to the seaside in the winter? Why are you going in October, November time, the pair of you?
Well, no, I went to meet up with some friends and play board games and stuff, and while we happened to be there, my friend had booked for us to drive off out to this place by the sea. It's actually like a military training ground that seals just rock up to once a year and give birth. But if I'd thought about it 2 weeks ago and Pab said he was going, I'd have given him that hot tip and he could have gone and seen them because it was pretty cool. I went with my friends and then a week later took my family there because it was so good. And yeah. You should go there, Kev. You should go film a vlog there with Anna. She'll love it.
Anna, do you want to go and see a seal give birth?
Why
Not
not?
a seal, hundreds and hundreds of seals, wild, just rolling around the beach, being super cool and cute and funny.
Kev, I
They're
don't
just
know
like
why
stupid dogs.
you're being so thingy about it. You would love to go there because you would want to take one home. Because they're
Well, that's the thing, yeah. I'm not going and not bringing one home. I thought that kind of goes without saying that I'm bringing one home.
I mean,
with me,
who's going to
surely.
stop you? You could lean over the fence and grab it. The mum would stop you. She'd kill
Yeah.
you. But, you know.
She wouldn't.
You
be.
could
There's
try.
There's no way she's going to be able to get me just after she's given birth. She's going to be sluggish from all the medicine.
They it was quite sweet because the mum gave birth and then like slid off into a water pool to like cool her bits down from pushing out a baby, and the baby was just there kind of going like "Meh, meh," like where bloody hell have you gone? I'm on my own. I'm screwed. Who are all these people? It was cute, but also a little bit like, yeah, she's knackered, mate. You need to give her a minute.
Well, there we have it. So I think the last time we did a podcast, I wasn't even allowed to talk about Football Manager 2024 yet. Here I am saying I've played 240 something hours of it. I wasn't even allowed to talk about it last time.
What a
because-
world!
I know, because we actually recorded that podcast early, didn't we? So
Yeah.
I can now say it's really good. If you want to know more, come and watch the dozens of videos I've already made about it. But it's really good. I've done some real. I've been doing shenanigans with it on Twitch, where I've basically decided to try and break the game and push it as far as I can and just do proper Chelsea style transfers. So I've now got a team where in just over 2 seasons I've spent over £2.5 billion. I've signed Bellingham, I've signed Haaland, I've signed Musiala. I signed Erling Haaland for £450 million and he broke his ankle 70 seconds into his debut, which was unfortunate.
How long is he
But
out
luckily I had like 4 months, but I had Victor Osimhen on the bench. It's fine. You know, I've got they're the Chelsea Globetrotters. It is the best squad of players that has ever been assembled in Football Manager in the history of the world without using any editors or cheats or anything, because I can't do anything like that yet because the editor isn't even out until Monday when the full game releases. So nobody can question the legitimacy of this wonder team that I've put together, and the fact that I've done it all live on Twitch as well. We've really demonstrated just how much you can break the transfer system and finance system in Football Manager by selling everything that's not tied down and then buying everything on installments and like rinse and repeat. We're selling on the players that we're bringing. So we'll buy someone on installments for 100 million, but only pay 20 million of it up front. The next window, sell that guy for 100 million. That's 80 million pounds in cash. We can now buy 4 more 100 million pound players with that. And we're basically just churning through superstar talent to get to the point where we've got Haaland, Bellingham, Musiala, and everybody else. It's an absurdly good team. I've spent about £2.6 billion in 2 years. I've sold over £1 billion worth of players. We did win the Carabao Cup as well. So, you know,
Nice.
it was all money well spent. Yeah. I'm very proud of myself. We're going to try and win the Premier League this year. I don't know if you've heard of the Premier League, but it's quite a good one. And we're going to try and win that. But without Haaland, who knows? I got Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City at the same time. They're on over £1 million a week between them.
On the plus side of you signing him and then snapping his ankle, it does mean that no one has Haaland. So
Exactly. I mean,
He's
that was
still ahead.
literally I didn't need De Bruyne. What possible reason? I've got Jamal Musiala and Jude Bellingham. I don't need a 15 years older version of those two players. I literally took him from Man City, put him on £500,000 a week, and stuck him on the bench just so they didn't have him anymore.
I mean, couldn't you have
That's
them
all it is now.
be coached by him?
Oh yeah, we're doing all that.
You know, you could teach
We're
them
doing
your
all
secret
that. I've
sauce
played
or
this.
whatever.
I've played this game quite a lot. I don't know if I mentioned.
Oh yeah, you
I know all the tricks. I know all the shenanigans.
When are they
that one
going
can
to allow
do.
you to do like fecal transplants to make certain players like other players and stuff like that? If you
Is
ask
that
Miles
the
that
thing
question,
I don't think that's the thing you can do in real life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
that's what people do.
What you can? I don't want to know.
Yeah.
How would?
Yeah.
To change your
Explain.
own biome
So-
and make you more healthy.
I mean, I could explain.
But that's not going to make me into Erling Haaland, is it?
Well, the logic behind it is that certain people are naturally thinner or fatter or whatever because the bacteria
bio
in their gut.
I would suggest all the footballers are naturally thinner.
Yeah, so inside them is all of that, and I don't know, if you just got a player who's naturally a bit like, I don't know, muscly or faster or whatever, you know, taking a bit of poop from one and putting it in the other one. I mean, the science is young on this. I mean, it's something that Americans are doing with, you know, thin women are selling their poo to fat women to stick up themselves to lose weight. That's the long and short of it. I watched a very entertaining South Park episode where they were trying to chase Tom Brady for his poo. They kept calling it the Spice Melange or something like that, because they thought that he had the world's greatest poo, and if you got it, you could become really thin and healthy and athletic. But that is the world we're heading towards. You're going to be able to go into a shop and buy someone's poop bacteria biome thing and have it inserted into you, and then you'll become healthier in theory if this works as well as they say. So Football Manager should have it in it. You should be able to just be like, oh no, he keeps getting injured. Inject some poo in him and see if he becomes a bit more resilient.
You people spend too much
It's
time on the
science,
internet.
Kevin. Science.
No, I'm just a very, you know, I love science, Kev. I learn a lot about science. I learn a lot about
From South
physics,
Park.
biology. Huh?
You learn your stuff from South Park.
No, they did an
my
episode
point,
about
Paddy.
it. It was very entertaining.
Which is where you heard about it.
No, I actually had already heard about it, Kev. Do you not think I'm abreast of all of the weight loss science? My plans to live forever involve being aware of all the different types of things that might kill me and how I might mitigate them one day.
I mean, you should probably start mitigating them soon. You are pushing 50.
No, he's not. He's not even 40.
I'm younger than Anna.
Hey, only by a
Any
couple of
insult
months.
you throw at my age, you're throwing
Look
it
at
at
your
her first.
hair. Anna's got a full head of hair.
I do.
Yeah, well, I need to keep my brain cold so it thinks quicker.
I don't understand.
It's just how it works. I tell you what, I can't think. Do you not have that problem? You tell you what, you just can't
all
think.
the time.
I don't... Are you sure you don't need a week off?
You're not very scientific, Kev.
I do have a
just-
bachelor's degree in science.
Superhero. I mean, so do we, but none of them are this kind of science.
Yeah, none of them are in
Yours is weird.
neuroscience, to be fair. I mean,
Ones
you
and
might have thought
twos.
you were doing neuroscience when you were cutting up pigs and stuff like that, but yeah, you weren't.
Yeah, we're all professional scientists here.
Yeah, but yours is different science. Mine was like biology science. Yours was numbers.
It's like, yours was...
This
you
was
smushed up
number science.
You
Kev.
smushed up gravy granules to see if they could be used for fingerprints. That's no different to numbers.
It's no different from computing, really. That's what we did, except we smushed them up and tried to see if they could be used as processors.
Exactly. Every degree has an element of gravy. I'm sure you'll agree. Aside from Football Manager, I almost finished Cyberpunk. I'm halfway
Really?
through the last mission, but then Football Manager came out. My PlayStation is literally in that suspended bit where when I load, every now and again I turn it on just to check it's still there. It is. I'm about halfway through the last mission. I'm past the point of no return.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably finish it March, April time when I next play a game that's not Football Manager. I've got Spider-Man 2 still sealed sat on my desk. I've got Mario Wonder that was still sealed sat on my desk, but I think Anna's stolen it.
I haven't stolen it. I've
And,
played it.
I mean, that's how would you play it without first stealing it?
I asked you, actually.
And I sent you into the wrong room. I sent you on a wild goose chase, and you still found it.
Because it was not in there. It was in here.
Because you were on a wild goose chase. But yeah, that's me now for the rest of the year. Just Football Manager. Lovely. Don Leeds Legend starts on Monday. Everyone should come and watch that. It's good. I'm doing a thumbs up into the microphone. You can probably hear it.
I heard something was up. I didn't know what it was.
I suspect you lot have played more new games than me, though, because I know Anna's had about 18 new games in the
Have
last couple of
not.
weeks.
3.
Do you know, I
quite a lot.
played one I was really worried was going to melt my PC because the whole internet at large had created this big illusion that I'm talking about Cities Skylines 2.
Oh, I've played that! I was literally playing that earlier today. I forgot about that.
I know
Continue.
you have a fancy computer at the moment, but did even you have a moment of like, is this going to just explode? Because everyone was talking about how
it's absolutely
it's
fine.
programmed badly in some way or another, and it uses it tries to draw everything to the finite, degree, teeth, insides of the people. They all have souls. Everyone in that city has a soul because it's being drawn by the graphics card. But I imagine you have a supercomputer, so they're probably all sentient and building civilizations.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I had no problems. My only problem was it's quite a boring game, so it's just like building cities and stuff. So I stopped fairly quickly and started playing Football Manager again. But it ran fine. It was just dull.
See, I quite enjoyed the stream I did with it. I feel like that I can see what you mean, that you are just building a city. It's the same as the other city builders, SimCity, City Skylines 1, all of that. But it does have quite a cool leveling up feature where, like, things you do get you from... Like how you went from being a village to a town to a city and so forth. There's, like, things you need to do that and points you need to gather up to do it. And every time you get to a new level, it gives you new features you can use in the city or new policies you can put in place and stuff like that. So it isn't just handing you it all straight off the bat and saying, right, go build a city. It's saying, like, oh, now you're a town. You can start thinking about what you do with your criminals when you let them out of prison and stuff like that. So I think it's got room to grow into a more of a game and should be more fun as it goes along. But yeah, I found I enjoy building cities. I enjoy messing with the roads and, building out all the different bits and pieces. And later on, I'll start deciding taxes and policies and so forth. But I think the biggest problem I had was when I started up the game. I mean, this is partially my fault because it said, do you want to be able to change the level you build things by using a certain button on the mouse? I think it was the right click on the mouse. And I said, yeah, go on then. And then when I started, I went to build a road and just was like, where the hell's the road gone? So I tried building roads again. And then about 5 minutes later, I realised I'd built a whole load of motorways underground and no one could access them.
See, that's the thing. It's so much fiddlier than SimCity. The first one was, and this one's fiddly as well. It's just fiddly. So, and I'm not into fiddling.
I had a bit more fiddliness with when you build a power station, you can obviously build underground wires to buildings and everything to link it up. And it kept telling me, I'm not linked up. And I kept trying to build new wires to it and all of this, and then realised what it was actually telling me was it needed a pylon. You have to build a pylon and connect it to the national grid, and then it stops moaning at you. But I didn't know that, and I spent ages, I spent a good sort of 5-10 minutes probably on my stream just being like, why is this not connecting up? And the radio's telling me there's blackouts and there's problems, and I'm like, why is there problems? And then I realised that it was asking me to do something else that wasn't clear. But again, it's probably my fault for turning the tutorial off,
Oh, God, don't do that.
Well, in my arrogance, I thought, well, I've played City Skylines 1. How different could it be? And for the most part, it wasn't that different. But, I mean, it looks pretty. I didn't turn off many of the settings. I left most of it high. I think I Googled, how can I stream this without it melting everything and breaking the stream and causing problems? And it just said, turn off. I think it was VSync. And I think one other setting was just like, oh, you don't really need this. Everyone who's turned it off and turned it on can't really tell what it does in this game yet. So I turned that off. Job done. People enjoyed the stream. People said it looked good. I feel like it was just, city builder. I mean, I can't really wax on too much about it. I will be playing it in future just to see how it is and how it grows. I feel like they must have some more long game stuff in there. Otherwise, why would people upgrade between the two? Although I'm saying that, people buy Football Manager and FIFA and all of them. It's just probably upgraded and polished, isn't it? I mean, that makes sense and fits.
They're entirely new games every year, you monster.
I know, but yeah, I guess the Kev on some other podcast who's only plays City Skylines games will be saying the same thing. This is an entirely new
he's called Biffer. He watches my Football Manager videos and people say I'm the same person because apparently we've got the same voice and he doesn't use a face cam. The amount of times people are like, Kev, are you Biffer? I'm like, no, I'm not Biffer. And then I'll watch his City Skylines stuff. I'm like, okay, maybe our voices are quite similar. And then when he comments on my Football Manager videos, it's like, oh, now it just looks like I'm commenting on my own videos. You need to get a face cam, young man. I'm sure you're very handsome. By the sounds of you, you sound incredibly handsome.
All right, Biff.
Get a face cam on.
Don't talk about it too much, Biff, or people will start seeing through the facade. But I enjoy it. I think if you're into city builders, obviously go and get it. You probably already got it. From what I understand, it's postponed on consoles, but that's probably because it would melt the consoles at the moment. Yeah, I feel like they probably just need to tweak it and cut out whatever's causing all the things. Somebody did explain to me, someone technical explained to me that they probably just brought things in and not really considered how they're built and just told it to build them. And now they've sent it out into the world. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, no, we probably need to delete some of that stuff in the background and say don't build that because they just didn't tweak the assets that they got. Some that's really compressed information I'm giving there, but once I've done that, I imagine it'll be on console, but it's coming soon. Play it.
I will.
You
Well,
have.
I have. Yeah, probably won't again, but I have. So I'm basically doing the opposite of what you said. I'm not going to play it, but other people should. Maybe. It's on Game Pass, and that's the important thing.
Not yet, is it?
Yeah,
Well, it will be. It's on PC Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Oh my word!
What's up, Pab?
This guy does sound like you, Kev.
It's not me. I don't think.
I thought you were saying something on the recording, and I had to double check it. No, it was on the video.
There's a chance that I'm doing it in my sleep and don't realise. But if that is what's happening, I need to know where the money's going.
No, I can assure you, you're in bed. I know when you're in bed, so I need someone to send me a link to this guy. By the way, Kevin.
I was going to say when you're not
Biffa
on the
Plays
podcast, when you're
Games,
travelling,
Biffa, something like that. He's called. I forget exactly.
Biffa
Just
Plays
search
Indie
Biffa
Games.
City Sky.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
why don't we get this guy on when you're not about, just to talk? If we could find,
I'm always about. When I'm not about, you two don't bother doing
that's
the
what
show.
I'm saying. So just get him on.
Well, if we get him on when I'm off, we're getting Phil Mitchell when you're off.
Yeah, no, I was going to say get like a southerner for when I'm off, and get like literally any northerner to replace Pab, and we'll be sorted.
Okay, deal.
I think Anna's irreplaceable.
If we just go to ChatGPT and ask it to write the script for an MGP episode, then we can just hand that to the replacements, and we could just probably never come on again.
Sounds good. We'll just coin in all that money that comes flowing
All
our
that
way
sweet,
each week.
sweet podcast money, exactly.
Speaking
Put
of
it
sweet
with my
podcast
City
money,
Skylines money.
For the 5-6 people that listen to the podcast on YouTube, I have managed to fix it so that the episodes will automatically go to YouTube now. Pab, they'll also even automatically tweet for you.
Yeah,
It's all
you
done.
Herberts need
Will
to
they?
individually make contact with Sheepdog. I'm thanking. You moaning little whinge bags.
Yeah, it did take me a long time, a very long time, at least 12 clicks, and a lot of figuring it out.
Yeah, but those 12 clicks were over the course of several weeks.
Oh no, they
Kept
definitely
asking you
were.
about it.
Like 4 of them were yesterday, and a couple of them were today, and then a lot of them were before I went on holiday. And there was a fair bit of me just being like, I don't understand, like why? Or what? At one point, because I also, for the other 3 people out there who want to listen to the old Best Thing From episodes, I didn't want to delete them because I knew that I'd have you in my ear. So I moved all of them to Anchor, but then
I'm certain nobody cares about them.
mate, tweet Kev if you're one of the 3 people that did want them, because I moved a load of them
Feel
across.
free. Understand I will completely ignore you, but definitely treat me.
I moved like 100 episodes across, and then thought that I could just add the rest of them to the same list. So when I switched it to the same account, all it did was, from my point of view, was replace them. So I put 120 across, then the 15 across from another one, and was like, ah! And after panicking about that for a bit, I realised that it actually just created 2 different sets, and I didn't know you could do that on Anchor. But it took me a little bit of time to recover from the panic of thinking I'd just wasted an hour's work or whatever it was. But yeah, no, they're all on there now, and they should be available on everything again. I will double check that. If they're not, let me know. One of the 3 of you, let me know, and I'll sort it out. But yeah, I mean, if it becomes hassle, let's face it, they're gone. But they are on this website, so I could probably download them and put them somewhere or something. I just don't really want to spend too much time on it. But yeah, I think I've solved all the problems that we're having with all the bits and pieces that were there. Speaking of bits and pieces, and Night Shift, they're gone. I deleted them.
What the hell are they?
Yeah, I mean, I did ask the bits and pieces fellas first, and they were like, "I didn't know they were still available. Get rid of them." So we set fire to them. But yeah, no, it's all clear now, and MGP should be exactly where it should be on all of your devices, in all of your ears. If you did get an absolute ton of stuff downloading onto your devices or onto your YouTubes, I am incredibly sorry. I tried to avoid that happening, yeah, you're welcome.
Excellent. Those of you who've played it, which I think is all three of you, tell me all about Spider-Man 2.
It's very good.
It's excellent. Recommend it.
That's all there is to say about it. It's brilliant. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk
Let's
over
move on.
everyone. I'm only about 8% of the way through it. I think it says when I check my
8%?
save.
Jesus.
Oh, mate, I've been away.
8%?
I got it like 2 days ago, so I've done all right to get that far.
I mean, let's be honest. I just got an email this evening during this recording. Oh no, to be fair, no. Okay, mine says I'm 5% on my way to platinum. So I'm probably more than that, game wise. I was gonna say I thought you'd absolutely scream past me, Sheepdog, but you didn't.
Oh, I was like, when you said you were 5% on your way, I thought you meant you were 95% of the way through the game, and I was like, how,
5%
Pab?
done towards the platinum. So.
And in my defence as well, I've only been playing it in the gap between 5 and 8 when Ben's awake because he bloody loves it. And I said to him the other morning, guess what arrives later? And he immediately he went Sonic 2. And I was like, what? And he went Spider-Man 2. And I was like, yes. And then when he came home, he just was like coming the door shouting, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And I was like, yep, wait, I've got to finish work. But he's been just sat next to me asking questions, and it was going really well until Hunter snapped someone's neck, and I had to be like, he just threw him across the room. He's fine. Nothing happened to him. Because I'd never noticed. I think I said this with Spider-Man 1 on Miles Morales. Ben randomly said to me, when he throws them over the building, do they die? And I was like, no, they stick to the side.
They do.
I just said that really. I just said that off the cuff, and then I happened to see that they did, and I was like, whew, good, well done, Spider-Man. But I'm glad there's not been any other scenes like that so far. That was a moment of like, oh God, I should probably revisit this. But yeah, just to give you, not obviously we need to do this spoiler free, but I just did part on a boat. That's basically where I am in it. I've been really enjoying the little side questy bits and the slingshots and the just the solving the crimes, like stopping the little crimes around the city. I just like all that, and I know they're going to be relatively safe, so Ben can watch me do them. But it's just, I love it. It's just good, and switching between the Spider-Men and having their different abilities and stuff, very cool. I don't know if I just read the case or what, but I know that it's a bit, the way they're doing things is a bit different. I suppose I watched the starting video actually as well. That makes sense. The fact that they're doing things a little bit different, the lore is different in this. For certain characters, that's quite cool. I like the way they've incorporated they've incorporated certain villains and characters, but used new people as the vessel for it. That's very clever. So I'm happy with that. That's cool. I'm looking forward to actually having that unfold properly. But if you're about the same percent, Pabby, what percent are you, Anna?
I finished it.
What?
Anna's done.
Of course,
Yeah.
she's finished it. Yeah, she doesn't.
When did it come out? Friday last week?
No, the week before.
Week before.
Oh, God, did it come out? I didn't realize it came out while I was away. I thought it came out the Friday of Comic Con. And I was planning on
finished it by the time we were at Comic Con, I think. Hadn't you?
Yeah, I
Wow.
finished it
Something like that.
on that Friday.
Yeah.
So I did it.
Well, like 100%. You've done everything.
I haven't
you could
100%
possibly
it
do.
because there is some bits in it that I just can't do because I don't like the floatiness of it sometimes.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But would you say overall it's better than the first Miles Morales, or as good, or?
I prefer the games that were separate. I preferred like Peter Parker and then Miles. I know in the first one, like they had bits of Miles in it, but I think I prefer them separate. Just because they are completely different characters, as in the way they live their lives, and I just didn't think.
I get you. It's their vibe, isn't it? With
Yeah.
Miles Morales, it was a lot more Spanish American.
Like I have nothing against
interactions
all
and-
that. It was just I prefer.
No, I didn't mean you did. What I meant was like it's all focused around their vibes.
Yeah.
It's like you're going around Miles Morales' neighborhoods and his culture and his people, and then in Peter Parker, it's all around May's homeless shelter and his uncle and his past and his friends and yeah, I get you. It's very focused on their individual stories, whereas this one is just kind of like he's got this focus, and I don't mind that it intertwines. For me, it's fine.
No.
and,
I don't
you know.
hate that, but I just prefer
I get what you mean. It's just easier. It's nicer to see a contained. It's interesting to me that they're kind of each other's villains as well now. I've read the comics, so I know they do intertwine a bit, but I don't know. There are still some that are more Miles or more Peter in terms of being their sort of their rivals, their villains, their nemesises. But I just part of me is like, I hope they keep going and we get like a Spider-Gwen and they haven't.
Oh yes, I wish that happened. That would be great.
Yeah,
to have
I
a
don't
girl in
know
there.
if she comes into it later in this one or whatever, but we haven't seen a Gwen yet, have we? So it's like, it feels like they could do that, and it could be a third thing for the third film, or even I guess that they couldn't do a DLC without having her in this thing. But anyway, it'd be cool to have her in later on, and I do wonder whether they'll do a third one.
Oh, there is. It's already confirmed. There's a third.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that confuses me on this, and I wanted to ask, because when I started playing it, I remember the first one had the Avengers building in, right? Mm-hmm. But then, did they replace it, or
no,
was
it's
it
still
just
there?
right?
Yeah, it's still in there, I think.
This world's supposed to have Iron Man, Captain America, all of that lot in it, is it?
The Avengers Tower's there, but I haven't seen any.
No, they're not in the game. But what I mean is, I keep wondering this. I thought it a little bit on the other two, but then with this one, there was like a lot of stuff happening, and you're like, if this happened in New York, you'd surely see some input from some of them.
There
it
was...
really felt.
How about you play the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. No, I will. All right. Good to hear. But it just made me laugh because I just thought. I was saying to Mrs. Sheepdog, I was like, what bothers me a tiny bit is this is literally the top Marvel game in a long, long time. I'm only saying it like that because I've probably forgotten something that is good. But it was like, you think they'd just give them the rights to chuck them all in at some point and have a full-on game like this with all the Avengers in.
They did, but it didn't
was the
go
Avengers
very well.
and it failed.
Yeah, but that Avengers game wasn't anything like this, really, was it? It was a bit and
No,
weird.
but Sony have the rights to Spider-Man. They don't have the rights to... It's probably a bigger job to get the rights to everything.
No, I guess what I'm saying is, like, they've given them... They've got this game there, and being able to say to them, we'll give you the rights to do this in this game because it's so good. It'd be a very good negotiating move for them, I reckon, in this whole back and forth they have, to be able to say, you can probably make the greatest game that's ever been made, using this style and this platform and all of this. I find it odd that they wouldn't see that as an opportunity to say, well, we keep using these things in these films and saying, we'll give you a bit of the profit and whatever, and we'll use the characters because you own them, but we want to use them. We'll put the shoe on the other foot. They're the film people, you're the game people. Come on, make it happen, just seems weird.
I don't think they're trying to be... I think they're trying to separate themselves from the movieverse anyway.
No, sure, but I'm saying they could make their own game verse, couldn't they?
Oh, yeah, but like I say, people did that, though. Like I say, they...
But that game wasn't anything like Pab. I get what you're saying. That game wasn't anything like this, though. This is a very, very great style of game. I always felt the same about the Arkham games, that they could have done a really good Arkham-style Justice League game. And they could have had different things for different heroes. And then they tried to do those different games where it's like, I know they're doing the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, aren't they?
I mean, these Insomniac are... The next game for Insomniac is the Wolverine. So they have got licenses for other things, Marvel.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens. I mean, I would just love to see a proper Marvel game that switches a bit more. I mean, maybe it'd be too hard to be like, okay, I'm going to do this mission as Miles, and I'm going to switch to Wolverine, and I'm going to switch to Iron Man. It's probably a bit too excessive, and how good's the story? But then it's going to sound silly to say out loud, I think, but Lego did it, and I know it was Lego.
To be fair, that Avengers game, the single player stuff is pretty damn good.
I've got that. I should just play it through. I've got it installed.
It's really good, and you play as Miss Marvel for most of
like
it.
Hour,
it's pretty much centered around Miss Marvel, but the rest of the Avengers are in there, and it's pretty good. It's solid. It's solid B.
I've got both that and Midnight Suns, and I've just not really cracked into them because they don't have the same feel to them as. I think I really enjoy the Spider-Man games, and I really enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy games. But
yes.
I don't know. I didn't click with Midnight Suns. Maybe I will. I'll finish Spider-Man, and then maybe I'll go back to that. But it's similar to the other two, isn't it? It's you're doing your missions, you're you can kind of go off and do all the bits you want to do of all the little, district missions if you want to, or you can just go straight, make a beeline for all the plot missions. It's the same format, but it's just it's very pretty, very, very pretty game, very beautiful graphics and everything.
No.
Oh, do you ever disagree with it?
No, there's wings.
Oh, you can fly. Yeah. Flying is incredible, isn't it? Like
you can move around that city now when you get in them wind tunnels. Oh, it's quick.
Have you? I let my I don't know. I got a bit naughty and was showing me and my sons were having a great laugh because we'd fly around town and then I would land in the middle of a crowd and smash the floor and everyone would fall over and roll around and panic, and then we just went on a bit of a rampage. I was trying to see if I could land on a car, but it wouldn't work. I couldn't. I don't know if it's just my aim or whether the game doesn't let you smash a car up, but I was trying to see if I could land on an expensive car. And we just started randomly launching bins. I was just like, I kept shouting spider can and then throwing a trash can, as I was calling it at the moment, across the street just to see everyone react. Yeah, I've been a bit, rampagey. It was quite funny because Jonah, what's his name, Jameson, was ranting about Spider-Man being a menace, and I was, Ollie was kind of going, "All right, Blameson, stop having a rant all the time, Jonah Blameson." And then as he's saying that, I'm literally launching bins at people and trying to run up buildings to see if I can stomp the ground. But I got an achievement for stomping the ground. I don't know if it's because I did it a certain amount of times or it didn't say what it was for. It just said splat or something like that. But yeah, we had a good laugh with that. We just
splat is when you are doing tricks and you don't quite do it and you splat on the ground. So
okay, so I failed something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, we were having fun just seeing how long I could fly around and get the air vents to fly me higher in the air, and those slingshot things are really cool, just firing yourself off and around and stuff. It's it's fun. It's cool. It's polished the interfaces a little bit. Do the suits do anything different? The ones you unlock, right? It told me I could unlock 3 or 4.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, I was a bit confused. I was like, where does it tell me the benefits? And in the end, I didn't think there were any. So I just went for yellow Peter Parker, and I was going for a light blue Miles Morales, and Ben maybe put this bright white suit on, so they both look like yellow and white next to each other. They look pretty cool. I like that. But there's some weird suits on it. There's a couple of suits on there. I was like, what on earth is this style? But yeah, no. I mean, that's just personal preference then, isn't it, at this point, if there's no benefit to it. Is there any kind of personalization where you could say, I want to use this suit because it does this thing or that kind of thing? Like, if it's not the suits, what is it in?
I don't know.
I don't
Because before it used to have your special ability, but now I think that's all separate.
Yeah, it's all tied in.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
I
too
suppose you could
complicated
switch
if you had
between
that.
Venom and Lightning and stuff like that, can't you? I suppose that's where you personalise it. Because I used to find that if it tried to force me to use a certain move in the other games, I didn't quite gel with it. I'd quickly switch back to the one I really liked and just kind of go invisible, fire some web in their face and kick their heads in or something. You got anything else to add, Pab? I feel like I've talked a lot.
Yes. I like the fidelity mode, whatever it is that they have done that you can use on the 120 hertz TVs. It's like magic. I don't know what it is they've done. So if you put it in fidelity mode, which gives you all the 4K and the ray tracing and everything, and it gives you all the volume of vehicles, people, and all that traffic and all that sort of thing. That sets it at 30 frames a second. But if you've got a 120 hertz TV, you can then put the variable refresh rate on, and then it'll raise that frame rate to 40. And I can accept that because I was initially playing it at 60. But
I'm here like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but at the same time, I'm like, Pab, should my TV be able to do this if it's a 4K TV?
No, not necessarily. Certain 4K TVs do have 120 hertz refresh rate. Some do, some don't. Depends what model you've got and what brand you've got and all this sort of thing. Look it up. You'd have to find out. But
yeah, I'll
if you can, I don't think the game will let you do it if it can't recognise the input, so to speak. So if the game doesn't recognise that there is a 120 hertz mode on the TV, I don't think it'll physically let you do it. Maybe.
Sounds to me, Pabby, like my TV's going to mysteriously fall off its table and smash over the weekend.
Maybe. But yeah, it is like wizardry. How, because like I say, I was playing at 60, but like you do turn off, it does reduce. You get variable resolution then at that point, and it does obviously, it turns some things down to get that 60. Playing it at 40 is more than acceptable. And then you get all the 4K loveliness and get it all pretty and shiny and playing very well. So I thought that just thought it was something worth mentioning, that one. I'm enjoying. I find myself playing the game and not realizing how long I've been playing the game or how easy it is to play the game when it has a map filled with things like you would say an Assassin's Creed game of old, but it doesn't feel like that in any way, shape or form. And it's just so easy and just to float from one thing to another, and it's just like, oh, I'll go and do this, oh, on my way I'll go and do that, and it's just literally just things just popping up in front of you as you go into it. Oh, there's a crime here, I'll go and do that while I'm on my way to the next objective. Oh, there's a camera opportunity, I'll go and take a picture down here. Oh, there's a cache up here, I'll go and do that. Oh, there's a little side thing up here. It's just, I've just enjoyed
like
just... Go on.
It senses if you pause for a moment, it'll be like, there's a crime over there. It's almost like, oh, you don't know what to do, there's a crime over here. Like it immediately will trigger one because it's like, no, don't get lost. Don't suddenly feel like you've got nothing going on. There's always something to do. Yeah, or they'll comment, oh, there's one of those things over there, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you get the next mission is like over 1,000. Whatever it is, meters, kilometers away, whatever it is away from you, and you're like, it's absolutely across the bridge sort of thing. You've got to go a long way. I could spend 20 minutes getting to that next mission because I'm just doing
massive tangent,
thing after thing after thing, which is then brings me to sometimes I want to just do fast travel, which is again kind of wizardry, some sort of weird magic that I don't know how they're doing. Where you select somewhere on the map, and then it just kind of zooms into the map, does it? Or I can't remember now.
Yeah, and then you
are pretty much just there.
Yeah,
and it is almost instantaneous.
Especially, and you can put where you want on that section of the
Yes.
map. So, say you want the Avengers building, it will just plop you at the Avengers building, and then you can go on your merry way.
Yeah. You do have to have. You have to have like completed a certain amount of the zone to get unlock the fast travel in that zone, but it is impressive. But I've not used it too much, like I say, because I've just enjoyed just flinging myself around the map and working myself towards that platinum, which I was expecting. I'm a little disheartened to see that email that's saying I only done 5% of it, because I'm thinking I'm working my way through this, so I'm chopping into this platinum, no problem. Apparently not. I have enjoyed it. What I've played, I enjoyed the web, like what they call now, like them the things that you fire out, and when you're in like a stealth opportunity, and you can fire out the web beams, and you can just walk across them.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The grappling. Yeah.
Yes, I know what I mean. I can't remember what they call them now. But you fire out like a web line. They're like web lines, yeah.
Yeah.
And it then becomes, unlike the previous game where you had to you would go from like a high place to high place on a stealth situation, and you'd wait for someone to get over the top of you. Now you can throw like one of these web lines across, and then it becomes somewhere you can just like walk across and then just pick them off as and where they are.
I love doing that.
Yes, that's all I do now.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I want to say I'm probably about 10 hours in, maybe a bit more. I'm not tons into it. I want to say I'm probably about 20 early 20s in percentage wise, I want to say.
I think it took me 27 hours.
Yeah, it's
not a long game, but it's decent.
If you've been playing, from what I've seen, if you've been playing the main story and doing bits of side stuff along the way, you'll probably finish the game around 50%.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen multiple people say that now. So, and then it becomes a case of, like I say, mopping up everything and doing all the different bits and pieces. I'm not a massive fan of the DNA thing, whatever it is you got to do, the DNA mini game.
Oh, do you know? I love that.
It's not bad. I don't hate it, but I think I've just got to do more of them to figure out what to get more into
There's
it.
not
I've only
a
done
lot.
like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, there's not a lot of them at all. Not as there was loads in the first Spider-Man. I used to go in there all the time in the laboratory and doing the things I used to love doing. Like this,
I think I did them all at once. I did them all at once in that lab.
Oh,
I
did
just
you
did them all
unlock it
one
that
after another. I just did them all. Let's get them done. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they unlocked after a certain time, but I
Yeah.
was always in there trying to unlock the next one because I really enjoyed that kind of puzzle. There's not that many in the one you're on about. There's not that many in it, but there is different ones. Like you get to fly bee drones. That's quite fun.
I did the drones. Yeah, they're good.
There's a bike that you can go and have a ride around, which is quite fun. So there's like I completed every side mission about 3/4 of the way through the game. So I just mopped them up. I was so interested in doing all the side missions. Like the main story is fine, but I like doing the little, like obviously like the side missions. The main story was just a bit, I want to say, predictable. Like I don't understand why May was dead. I was like, when did that happen? But I haven't played Spider-Man 1 in a long time. I was like, why did she pass away? Like, how did that happen? But I went back and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it has lots of twists and turns. There's a lot of, and then there's a lot of, oh no. But yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm going to go away, play a few more games, and then go back to it and play it again. Because I've done everything. There's like this flying mission that I cannot do because I don't like flying in games. I hate it, and I can't get the knack of it. Like you have to. It's not like a race, but you have to catch it, and I get to like 98%, and then I just mess up, and it grinds my gears. So I can't do that. Because otherwise, I think I would have platinumed the game. Because I've just got them to finish. I've done everything else except them missions, which is annoying because obviously they've got story attached to them. But I can't do them, so it's annoying. But yeah, very good game. Very much enjoyed it. Can't wait for number 3. The cliffhangers in number 3, you're like, there's bits in Bob's said and you're like, oh, okay, I see where that's going. I know bits in Bob's about Spider-Man, so I'm like, okay, so there's a 3 coming. There's 2 scenes for when the credits are starting. One like at the start of the credits, and then there's one at the end. The credits are quite long, so just wait. Yeah, can't wait for 3, and I can't wait for Wolverine because they make Insomniac make excellent games. Definitely like game of the year-ish for me. Like I think
whoa, we're a little early for
me,
those kind of
It's gonna be
comments,
hard
young
to beat,
lady.
though.
Whoa.
I think Anna's hit the nail on the head, and it's going to be a tough debate.
But yeah, it was good, very good. You should play it, Kevin.
I will do
You'll enjoy
eventually. Maybe when we go and hide in the cabin in the woods for a week, I'll take the PlayStation and give it a crack then.
I see.
Play it the weekend you go and see the seals.
We're not going to see the seals.
You should go tomorrow.
We're
Be a
not
quick
going to go
drive.
tomorrow.
I've got
No,
fireworks
it's not. It's
tomorrow.
a really long drive from where we live. It's like a 3-hour drive.
It's worth it though. You get to see seals.
No, you're all right.
Seal
I
might
can
be
see
there.
seals on the internet. If I can see seal, that's different. I'll drive 3 hours to see seal.
Wow.
If I talk to seals people and say, "Can we see seal with the seals by the seashore?"
Then I'll go.
Cool.
Right, other games. Let me pick another one off my list of games that I know Anna's played. Let's hear about Super Mario Wonder then.
It's a Super Mario game, pretty much like all the others.
It's a 2D one, isn't it? Side-scrolling jobby.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
With the Italian fellas and the hats.
Well, I'm making sure it's not a 3D one. I prefer the 2D ones to the 3D ones.
Same.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's a Mario game.
I mean, this is why we didn't queue up for it at EGX, for exactly that reason. There isn't anything
I
to
played
say,
it at
really.
EGX
It's Mario.
and
You
I
get to
felt
be an
like it's-
elephant, I guess.
Yeah, you get to be an elephant that smashes things. You get to have a drill for a head that lets you go underground and stuff. It's just got new features in it that mean you could just do things you don't normally do in a Mario game. It's still a platform game. It's still a Mario game, but it's just Mario with new bits, which is what you want from a Mario game, innit? You got the feathers of the old days. You got the leaves. You got the
Cats.
cat things. There's always a new thing. And you just play it just opens up new puzzles, doesn't it? You never had a way to solve a puzzle by going underground before. Now you do. You know, it's just cool puzzles. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, it's just like that. You get the power. It helps you do certain puzzles. If you don't have that power, you kind of just have to finish the level. There's certain places in the level where you find like this shining star, and it takes you out of that level, or makes that level different in a way. Like one of them is like, what was it? It changed it into like an X-ray world, and then there was one where it changed the like where you would walk on the map. So like you'd go left to right, and then this one it made the ceiling. It's very hard to explain, but they made the ceiling like that's your gaming platform, and it was all very strange and weird. But
It does feel like some parts of it are the character has taken a hallucinogenic, though. I felt a bit like they really are just not acknowledging that Mario eats a flower and suddenly everything, all the pipes are moving around and everything is going like woo. And it's like, yeah, no, you've just taken something you should not have consumed, sir. And you, for a man who eats a lot of mushrooms, that's the biggest trip he's ever been on in a game.
yeah. I sat down, played it, and I got to like the 4th world in one sitting. It's not hard. I would say like.
Well, this is right up my street, then. I love this.
Each level has like a difficulty level, but it's not difficult as in, oh, if it's like a 4-star, you'll never do it. It's just it's a bit more. Obviously, there's a bit more of a challenge, but I've never gone. I can't do this world. Everything is. I do everything. I don't always collect all the stars, I want to say, or whatever they are. But yeah, I just go for it. I got to World 4, and then you said it was dinner time, so I turned it off and have not been back to it just because I've had enough, and I'll play it. It's not anything different. It's just more new stuff, but it's the same, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's the Mario we all know and love.
Yes.
With a new bit of paint.
Yeah.
Excellent. Pabby, have you played that one, or do we
I
move
have
on
played
now?
Mario.
Go on then.
One thing
Tell
I
us
will
all-
add to it is that something else that they have added, which hasn't been in, I don't think it's been in any other previous game, is the badge system, which can potentially change it up massively for whatever badge you have equipped. So you could have, it basically is like an ability system. And you go into each level with that ability, and then if you find that that's not working for you and you die, you can start at the checkpoint and change that badge that you have to then make it more, pick a different one that makes it more advantageous to you. So there's like ones that, I think the initial ones like that you get like the big hat, don't you, so you can float a bit. And then there's like a one that lets you double jump sort of thing and climb up walls and. There's so many different ones.
There's one where it gives you an extra heart, which I think is broken because every time I used that one, I never got an extra heart. It never worked. Like you would click it, and it would never have like in the little square in the corner. It would never be there. I don't know what was wrong with that one, but yeah, that one wouldn't. It was like, oh, use this one if you're having trouble. I was like, I would, but it doesn't work. But yeah, apart from the other ones, it would give you like I said, like double jump or an extra life, or I forget what the other ones
There's
were.
ones that do like there's ones that are fast. I think there's ones. Is there a speed one or something like that? I can't remember now. I've seen so many different ones. I've not got that many. I've not played tons of it, but I've seen a few videos where I've seen some things where he's like, okay, sure. I've played some multiplayer local with my nephew who is 7. So I played some multiplayer that compared to like the new Super Mario games that were on Wii U and whatever, where it felt like everything was a competition and it was every opportunity to screw the other person over, and you could bounce off their heads and pick them up and throw them off things and whatever. That's gone. There's none of that now. So it's just all
nice
co-op,
play,
trying to help each other. The only thing I found difficult was so you can have. There are characters you can pick. There's tons of different characters to pick from. Usual lot. There's also Yoshi's and Nabbit in the game, and Yoshi's and Nabbit don't take any damage from other enemies, and they'll only die if you fall off a platform or whatever. But then if say your 7-year-old nephew falls off a platform, you then become ghost form, and you have it's like 5 seconds to get to the alive person, and as soon as you touch them, you're back alive again. Me trying to explain that to a 7-year-old that you need to double back to me, it made it incredibly frustrating for me in the sense of I had to then double back and try and find where he was and get to wherever he was. So it wouldn't. I didn't. And like I say, you then lose lives if he doesn't get to you in time. He dies, and then you start a new life. It gets another life, and you just carry on. So you'll burn through lives like that for fun. I did that a lot, but yeah, it seems all right. It seems right for what there is online multiplayer of a fashion. It feels like you join a session and you are like whatever session you're in, you are playing like a ghost in that world, and you can race through it with them. You can actually set up races in the game to finish to race through levels, and then also if they die and you're playing as multiplayer, they turn into a ghost. You've just got to touch them to come back alive. So there's also like these little like checkpoint kind of things you can put up, aren't there, or something like that? You can put up these little like boards, can't you? These boards of like have your player icon on or something like that, don't they? I can't remember what they are.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. I've seen
but
them.
They're like
no idea what they are.
You can put them down, and then if it's like Dark Souls in the sense of if you can see other people, if you do it online, you can see other people's things, and if you happen to die near one of those, you can touch it and then come back to life. Or something like that. Yeah. I've not done it myself, but yeah, I've seen it. You can put them down, and I'm going, don't know what these are, but
the game explains next to nothing to you. Like
considering there's a lot of things in there, it's it's quite complex. But it's good. It is very good for what it is. I need to play more of it. It's one of them Switch games that I'll get to and just tinker away a few levels at a time. It was good for what I played.
Splendid. And then, of course, we've got the one that arrived today, Anna.
Supposed to come yesterday.
It's all about the new games. RoboCop.
Yeah.
It's actually Rob O'Cop. He's Irish.
Well, I haven't played it, so I don't know that yet. Anna's probably about to tell us that.
That's why I corrected you. I thought I'd save her the hassle.
Yeah, I got RoboCop because I saw someone else playing it early and thought, oh, I like the look of this game. I know who RoboCop is. I vaguely remember him from the 90s, I want to say.
80s.
80. I know there was some films. Like, I vaguely remember that they were quite violent. If you don't know RoboCop is a man with a brain and a face, and the rest of him is made of metal.
A man with a brain and a face. So I'm RoboCop.
I don't know how he got into an accident and then they rebuilt him or something. I don't know. It doesn't really
Yeah, he's
explain
just like
it.
a cop that died, and they used him to make their new cyborg cop.
Yeah.
They thought was going to be this like ruthless, authoritative cop robot thing, but he just
Well,
does
he
his
is.
own thing.
He is. So I got it. Obviously, it was supposed to come yesterday, but it didn't. Amazon, thank you. It came today. And the first mission is this this gang has taken over this TV studio because there's like this new guy who's throwing money around, and this gang wants to work for him so they can sell their new drug nuke to Detroit. I don't know why Detroit is always like the place, but we're in Detroit.
Back then, it was like a crime capital.
Okay. And you go into the building, but you have a partner, and she is like human, and to get in you have to go through fire, and she's like, oh, you can withstand fire, I'll find another way in. So you go in through the front door and you shoot the baddies, but the shooting is quite nice. Like their heads, like if you get a headshot, the headshots exploding to a big mess, and it just feels fun. You've got like a scanning thing, so it tells you where all the baddies are. You can see when they chuck stuff at you. I don't know if you can chuck them back yet. I've not tried that because I just get out of the way. But the gunplay is very fun. I have had to turn down, so like in the settings, there's turned down like the footsteps because they are quite loud, because obviously he is a big robot and the footsteps to do him head in, so I turned that off. But as you go through, you find like evidence that gives you XP. You find like dead people, and if you scan them you can see who they are, and you get XP for that. And then there's like not puzzles, but like you have to find so many clues so you can fit everything together, so you know what you're doing or where that's going, and that gives you like your next objective. And in this first one you're just doing your thing, being your RoboCop. You've got your partner with you, but then you get damaged in the first mission and you kind of freeze, and your partner saves the woman instead of you. And then like the news is like, oh, he shouldn't be on the streets, he's not safe. And then like your captain is like, we need to check you out. And then that's how you get like the implant for all your upgrades and stuff. So as you go around places, you'll find like I said, you get your XP from your upgrades, or you find special items that will give you skill points instantly to level up. Then you get sent to an area, and it's quite a big chunky area, so it is free roam of sorts in this big area, and you just go around, and you start off with one mission, but as you go around, more missions, you just find more missions to do. So like one of them I had to go and find a car, but then this other mission, there's a dead woman on the floor all mashed up, and I need to go and find out why she's there. But as you also go around, because you are a policeman after all, someone's car is leaking too much oil, so you give it a ticket. Or some people are being a bit rowdy, you give them a ticket. Or I don't know, a pay meter has expired, give it a ticket. So that's quite fun to do. And like in this first area, there's like 6 of them you need to find. I've only found 3, but But I'll keep going around until I find all 6 because I have to do them all. And like some of the trophies were fun. Was like one of them, I shot a man in his area. I got a trophy for that. So you also get to throw monitors, and these monitors aren't like the thin monitors you get to see. These are the fat monitors of the 80s, and you're chucking these at people's heads, and then they electrocute, and obviously they are on the floor because them things were heavy. So it's quite fun. I've only played a few hours this afternoon, and I like it. I didn't think I would like a RoboCop game. I've not shown any interest in RoboCop like ever, but I saw someone play it. I thought this looks good, so I'm playing it. Apparently it's the same people that did Terminator last year. Don't remember a Terminator game, but I know who RoboCop is, and I'm very much enjoying it. It's very like the graphics, like it's got like you see like lamp lights, and they are shining in the puddles, like, or shining off a van. It has that in it, and it's really pretty, and it's like 20 gig. Like, it's not taking up a whole chunk of my hard drive, which I am just a little bit annoyed with games at the moment. They are so big. Like, Baldur's Gate was like over 100 gig. I'm like, why? Why are you over 100 gig? So, and this is like 20. But, yeah. Been enjoying it. It's great. I also played some Persona 5 after we played Persona, I want to say 3.
Yep.
So I played that a bit and then got very stuck. Can't beat the boss, so I turned it off. I don't know how to do that, so I don't think I'll ever get to play any further into Persona 5 unless Kevin comes out of his cave and helps me. But that is it. That is all I have played. So, have you played anything else, Pab? Or Sheepdog?
I think that's all for me.
Okay.
I mean, what haven't I played?
Snooker in person.
Snooker?
Yeah. You asked what haven't you played? I bet you haven't played snooker.
Did we play? No, we didn't play snooker, did
I
we?
can't stand it. You said, Pap, I heard you. You were cursing snooker.
Yeah, it's anyway. I'm assuming you've watched this game, Anna, and gone, this isn't for me.
What would that be? Lords of the Fallen?
Football.
Alan Wake 2.
Watching it, not playing it, because it scares the bejesus out of me. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right to do so.
I know so.
I have played probably about 2 hours Alan Wake 2. Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
I mean, I barely have. I've played 2 hours of it. It's got some performance issues at the minute, which is kind of putting me off. PC.
Yeah.
It's weird. Apparently there's an issue with hard drive issues, and I don't understand. I'm running on NVMe's. I'm not running on standard platter hard drives, but it seems to be like the dialogue moves faster than the video.
Oh, okay.
It's usually in video, usually in like the videos or the cutscenes, or the subtitles move faster than the actual video, and it's a bit baffling.
That. Yeah, I hate that.
It's almost to the point where I just might turn the subtitles off.
Yeah.
Just because it's just rifling through a conversation. I'm like, you said the first line.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on. But yes, it is. I don't even know how to describe what it is. It's like, it's set in, I forgot what it's called now. Wherever the first one is set, it's set there. Bright Falls, is it called? Bright Falls,
I think that's that sounds right.
Something like that. And you play as an FBI agent called Saga, who is investigating the disappearance of
people.
3 people.
Yeah.
And the day that they go, another person has been found murdered, and you are investigating. You are I'm pretty much just investigating this murder.
It's the one on the one that's on the table. The one that's on the table. Yeah.
There's a. You start the game. As a big fella, naked, coming out of a lake. Naked, running, and then he promptly gets his heart cut out and on a table.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then that's the person you are investigating. You're doing that investigation. That's where I've got to. I've done the investigation sort of thing, and you go to the investigation. You collect information, and then you go into your mind place.
Mind palace. Yes.
Yes. So it manifests as like a log cabin, and you go to like your corkboard, and you go and start piecing the information together and putting pictures with things and figuring out where these pictures belong in the timeline, sort of thing. And you place them all down, and then the story progresses, and you go back to playing the game. It did tell me the first time I did that, the game doesn't pause during this, so be sure to make sure you're safe when you're doing this. I was like, great. So at points there's going to be things coming at me, and I shouldn't be doing it. It's like Dark Souls where you can't pause. Don't look in the menus in a Dark Souls game, especially if you're not in a safe place, because something will come and get you. Yeah, so I've got to be very wary of that now. But yeah, I have played like I say 2 hours, so I've not even got to the Alan Wake part of Alan Wake 2. Like you say, you play as both Saga and Alan Wake. But there's certain signs of weird stuff going on. I've been to the main town and had a water in it. It looks staggeringly good, frighteningly good. It looks amazing. Everything about it looks unbelievable. But then some things seem different, where this person recognises me and says I've been there before, but I'd not been there before. I've been... So, I'll rewind a little bit. I feel like Saga is some sort of empath or something like that, because she goes into, like, in the mind place, you can go into like a profile, and you can profile a person, like whoever it is, a victim, or whoever it is, and you can kind of like get information from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, not psychically, but you know what I mean. It's just like an empath sort of feel I'm getting from it. It doesn't tell you that anywhere, but that's the kind of thing I'm getting from, because at a certain point, you're interviewing some suspects, and then you can then go to profiling them in the Mind Palace, and then you can find out that they are hiding something. They found something on the floor, and they are hiding something, so then you go up to them and challenge them and take it off them. So there's some sort of like psychic abilities, some sort of empath abilities that she has.
Alan Wake, it's creepy.
Yes, well, we'll get to that in a sec, because I go through the town, and like I say, this is all I've done. I go through the town. I go to do an autopsy on the body. I don't know. Should I say this?
Yeah, do it.
Should I say it? Should I say what I'm going to say? You do an autopsy on the body.
2 hours into the game.
It's literally, yeah, it's the first thing you do. It's not. It's you go to do an autopsy on the body, and then the body gets up. Well,
what?
The body gets up, and then you can't see you if you're in the light. So I'm sat under the light, and then I have to get my gun, but my gun's in the corridor. I have to make a dart for the gun into the dark. It's also the dark. I don't know if it was just because I was playing in the daytime and I couldn't see my monitor properly. It is. I turned the brightness all the way up, but HDR settings are bonkers. I couldn't see where I was going. I died twice trying to get into the corridor because I couldn't see the doorway. So I ran into the doorway, got a gun, and then you shine your torching, and then you have there's a more powerful torch ability, and it shines on them and it stuns them, sort of thing, and you can shoot them and it damages them, and then it eventually kills them. And I've gone pretty much from there. I'm now wandering around looking for fuses in a witch's hut, looking for items. The witch's hut is a save point. Actually, that's exactly where I saved, actually, in the witch's hut, because it is a save point. And I was like, oh, thank God I got to here, because apparently I don't know if I'd saved up until that point.
Oh, God,
because it come
Lord.
up saying, do you want to save? And it's like, there's no saving it. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, don't tell me it's like manual saves, like it is,
God, nice.
For me, it seems it plays more like Resident Evil than Alan Wake. There is you have an inventory, you have I found out there is a quick turn you can do in the Resident Evil games, where you can just do a 180 and just completely bolt. There's a dodge button, but yeah, I've been jump scared twice in that 2 hours. Just out of nowhere, just impromptu, just some sort of just a flash of an image on the screen, and scared the hell out of me twice. So yeah, it's creepy. I don't know what I'm doing playing it, but
I've played the first one and I was like, no more of that. It's too freaky.
Yeah, it's weird. It's creepy. Alan Wake is in there, I'm told, somewhere. I've heard Alan Wake speak. I've heard the typewriter going. I've heard him talking. So he's in there at some point. You do get to play as him. You can switch around. I'm told, from what I remember from the previews, you can switch as and when you want to switch between the characters.
Okay.
Apart from main story points where you have to play as either Saga or Alan, but you can do quests. You can switch in between them, and as the story goes, and if you feel like this, you should be playing as Saga at this point, and then you play as Alan at this point, or you can just play through everything that Alan's got to give you, or everything Saga's got to give you, until you've got to switch back to Alan, or vice versa.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting.
Definitely different.
I want to play more. I want to play some more, because it's weird and it's not as actiony as Control was. I've seen several clues towards Control.
Oh, that's cool.
I've seen a Federal Bureau of Control folder somewhere, and I'm like,
In a
there's a guy fixing an antenna from the FBC. What's he doing here?
Yeah.
Something's afoot here. So yes, I've played that, and the other thing I've played, which is worth talking about, Fortnite OG. We heard about Fortnite OG.
I saw a picture. That is it.
Yes. The Fortnite OG is basically a month-long season. It's only running for this month of November, and it is the original Chapter 1 map, the original Chapter 1 weapons, the original Chapter 1 vehicles, and it's going to change week through week through different parts of the Chapter 1. Yeah, it's a big change up. It's a big change up, going back to the old guns, the old med stuff, and your shields and all the different things, and just going right. It's been fun. I've only played for 2 or 3 hours, maybe, if that. Probably 2 hours, because it's been a bit busy, I would say. 20-minute queue to get in today.
Wow.
And then you had to reset at one point because the matchmaking was a bit buggy, so yeah, the queue wasn't as big the second time, but still. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to go back and seeing how the game was, and obviously now playing it. The instinct in this map is like, oh, look at all that materials there. I'm going to smash all these up like we used to. I'm like, it's zero build. You don't need any materials anymore. And the amount of times I've seen pallets and gone, oh, there's 25 wood or whatever it is. Just the instinct of being in these places again, where I would go around and smash all this house up and smash all this building up to get the mats out of it. You don't need to do that anymore. So yeah, Fortnite OG is back for the month. There is a battle pass. There's new items in the shop regularly for they're like mashing up OG characters, like character skins that were in the game. So I'll be curious to see what they do. And then obviously after this month ends, it's a new chapter, and it'll be Christmas themed for December at least.
Yeah.
Because that's when they always do big Christmas stuff. But other than that, I've played a bit of Remnant 2. Still one of the few games that I really like and still think about constantly. And I have all these new games to play, and I still find myself going back to Remnant 2. I'm nearly 20 hours in that game now. I love it. I love Remnant 2. I'd nominate it for a Game of the Year, but I think it's going to fall on deaf ears, I'm afraid, so I probably won't. But yeah, other than that, that is pretty much it for me this week.
Well, I believe that wraps us up then, boys and girls. So if you... thanks for the input. So if you would like to follow us on the internet, you can do that at Mgukpodcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
You can find me at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And we will see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Toodle bit.
Thanks for listening, folks.